Hi guys, this is Mira and I'm back for the part 2 of my best books for 2024. To end my yapping, here is our list. The first one is Small Things Like This by Claire Keegan. So this is about Bill Furlong. He's a coal merchant in a small Irish town. So one morning, when he is delivering coal to a local convent, Bill makes a discovery that will make him confront both of his past and the complacent silence of the town that is controlled by the church. So this book has only 128 pages, but the story packs a punch. It always amazes me when a writer can convey so much with the shortest of books. So that for me is really masterful writing. Because of this book, I also learned about the Magdalene laundries, a sad part of Ireland's history. So I'm glad that this book made me aware of another obscure part of history rather than, stay in my own comfortable little bubble. I also like how the author writes tension. She seldom breaks it, and I think it leaves the readers wondering what is on the other side and leaves the reader wanting for more. This book is also getting a movie adaptation starring Cillian Murphy, so I'm so excited for it. I watched the trailer and I am completely here for it. The next one is Minor Details by Adania Shibli. So this is a story about a young Palestinian woman in 1949. She was captured and raped by Israeli soldiers. She then was killed and buried in the sand. Many years later, another young Palestinian woman becomes so fascinated with this minor detail in history to the point of obsession. We then follow her journey as she tries to pierce the narrative, to pierce together what really happened in the face of the ongoing limitations imposed by the Israelis towards Palestinians. So, this is another masterful writing in under 200 pages. If you like short books, this is another recommendation for you. The narrative style for Minor Detail is simple and lacks emotion, but surprisingly, I think it shows the truth more about the state of the narrators in the story. I also like the parallels between the young Palestinian woman and the modern day Palestinian woman. This book is so heartbreaking and definitely hard to read, but I think it's a must read, especially if you want to read works by Palestinian authors. That's Minor Details, guys. The next one is Heaven Officials Blessings by Moshang Tangshu. So this is the last book. So this is an 8 book series. I started this last December and I just finished it this May. So I only have physical copies of the 3 books. So the story is about Shelian, a crowned prince who ascended into godhood for the third time, and during his ascension, he destroyed several palaces of the other gods. So to pay for his debts, he was sent to the mortal realm to hunt down spirits, violent ghosts, and troublemaking spirits who prey on the living. There, he met San Lang, a mysterious young man who knows a lot about Shelian and whom he feels instant connection with. So this book right here, this has me on a chokehold. So the Heaven Officials Blessings has humor, has adventure, has friendship, a lot of fighting, a lot of angst, and also a lot of plot twists. There are many characters to root for, not just these two, Xielian and Sanlang. And also, it has the most amazing love story. That's all I can say for that because I don't want to specify or spoil anything for this book. I want you guys to have the full reading experience if you decided to pick this up. But trust me, guys, this is so good. And this is really popular within the Danmei community. It has a Donghua adaptation if you're familiar. A Donghua is a Chinese anime, so it currently has 2 seasons, which is until the end of book 2. So one season one book. It also has a manhwa adaptation, which is currently on the beginning of book two also. So yeah, I'm updated with everything, and any new release, you bet I'm there getting the goods. Another thing that I love is there's artist drawings inside. So let me show you without spoiling anything. Let me show you something nice. This one. So there are several drawings like this in every book. So I think it fuels your imagination, and yeah, it sweetens the reading experience. So if you like romance, if you like adventure and a lot of fighting, this is for you guys. You won't regret it. I If you want to, I think you can watch the dongwa so you get the feel of the story. However, as always, the book is a lot better. You miss a lot of things within the dongwa and the manhwa. So yeah, heaven officials blessings. It's good. The next book is Swimming in the Dark by Tomasz Jedrowski. So this book is set in the early 1980s Poland, where there is a violent decline of communism. Uh, we then follow a tender and a passionate love story of two young men, their first love, who eventually find themselves on the opposite side of the political divide. So, this book is one of my hidden gems that I discovered this year. I wouldn't have been aware of this book if it wasn't for Dua Lipa's book club. I think this is her uh, her pick for the month of May. This also introduced me to another part of history, which is Poland under the Soviet occupation. So yeah, you learn new things. I can compare this book to Call Me by Your Name by Andrew Asman, but just because of the writing and the LGBT representation. I think this book, Swimming in the Dark, is 1,000 times better. This doesn't have the questionable age gap and those nasty scenes. Uh, Call Me by Your Name really destroyed Peaches for me, and the bowel scene gave me the ick. If you like that book, or if you want to read a book better than that, which happened to me, please read this. It's really great. Lastly, this book paid homage to James Baldwin's Giovanni's Room, which I love with my whole heart. So that in itself made this book earn extra points for me. So that's it. It's Swimming in the Dark. It's amazing. It's brilliant writing. And as of now, I think it's included in my top 10 for this year. So it's really good, guys. If you want to read something from this list, I hope you pick this one up. It's really good. The next book is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. So this is the story of Eva Mercy, a single mom and a best-selling erotica author, and Shane Hall, a reclusive and an award-winning literary author. So when Shane and Eva meet on a literary event, sparks fly, raising not only their past buried traumas, but also catching the attention of their colleagues. So, what no one knows is that 20 years earlier, teenage Eva and Shane spent this crazy week together, madly in love. So, right now, they pretend that everything is fine, but they cannot deny their chemistry or the fact that they've been writing to each other in their books after all this time. So this book, this gorgeous book, the writing is just perfect. It's not too flowery, but it's still tender, and it shows a lot of vulnerability within the characters. Also, I love the tension between Eva and Shane. So in any romance book, give me those palpable sexual tension. I'm all for it. So in here, it's just so impressive. You can cut the tension with a knife. So amazing, guys. Another point worth noting is the chronic illness representation. So in here, Eva's character has a chronic suffers from a chronic illness. So there's that. Also, guys, before picking this up, I suggest that you research on the trigger warnings because this book is heavily burdened with a lot of triggers. So there is self harm, there is suicide, sexual violence, and that is just on the top of my head since I read this last May. But if you guys can get past those triggers and it's not causing you anything harmful, I suggest that you read this book. This book is written beautifully and the story is really just as fantastic. On a lighter note, the next book is Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery. So this is it. So this is the story of Anne Shirley, a 12-year-old girl who was sent to Prince Edward Island to be adopted by siblings Matthew and Marilla Cuthbert. However, once she arrives, she will find out that the siblings wanted a quiet boy to help Matthew with farm work. We now follow Anne's journey with her new family and as she wins their hearts in the process. So yeah. What I like is Anne is such a chatterbox. So she's always yapping about her imaginations, about her questions. It's so funny and it's so endearing at the same time. The story took place in Prince Edward Island. And this book shows how the author was determined to show the beauty of the place through her words. Her descriptions are so vivid and just so picturesque. This book overall is just heartwarming and wholesome. So I just want Anne to have a true family and experience familial love for the first time. Like Heidi, this is a children's classic and I highly, highly recommend it. Overall, just good vibes and a very wholesome story. Yeah, it's good for middle graders. I think it's too long for a children's book, but yeah, middle graders and young adults and even adults. It's just good. Try this, guys. The last book for this list is Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. So this is a feminist take on Medusa's story. So if you're not familiar with it, Medusa is the youngest of the Gorgon sisters. She's They are the daughter of minor sea gods. Then Poseidon, god of the sea, assaults Medusa in Athena's temple. Athena is now enraged and wanted to take revenge. However, she only took her revenge on Medusa, transforming her hair into writhing snakes, and her gaze will turn any living thing into stone. Because of this, Medusa condemns herself to a life of solitude. However, Perseus, a demigod, he embarks on a journey upon a quest to fetch the head of a gorgon. This is my second Natalie Haynes book, so I'm not surprised that the writing is impeccable. I read A Thousand Ships a while ago, and it's one of my favorite Greek retellings. My only con is I was confused for the first few chapters because there are a lot of narrators in this book. Really, a lot. But overall, the book is just terrific. Some parts did destroyed me, but I think the ending is worth your while. If you're interested in Greek mythology, I highly recommend this. And that's it, guys. So that completes the best book that I have read for the first 6 months of 2024. I hope you find something that piqued your interest. If you're still here with me, thank you for staying until the end. I really appreciate it. Have a great day wherever you are. Bye bye.